Hello everyone, it's just a dad. Today I'm going to do an unboxing, show you how to set up for the first time and the first cleaning on this brand new Roborock QX Revo Ultra. Now I did get this at Costco. I did buy this with my own money. Retails for $1,200. It is on sale for $960. So let's open it up. We're going to connect it to our smartphone, put it all together. We're going to see what exactly comes in the box. This seems like a really good deal. It's a really thin robot. The LiDAR goes up and down. So it has lots of features that I like. This is my first Costco robot review. So here we have the ramp. I love that they come with instructions. And then this is kind of like the quick start guide. It's got some pretty good information on it. But let's see what else we get. There's the robot. Now be careful, it's heavy. And the plastic. There's the mop pads. Let's see what's in here. I think this is the kit that comes with a bunch of extra stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm going to lay all this out. I'm just kind of opening it up right now. Maybe I didn't get the one that comes with all the extra stuff. I was hoping it's this one with all that's a lot of extra goodies, and I think it is because here's a bag. Okay, we got extra dustbins. Let's take the tape off. Now getting that dock, the dock is heavy, so be careful getting it out. So the tanks don't have anything in them. We'll go through all this in a second. I'm just looking for all the extra parts. Okay, so the box has an extra brush roller. It should already have these installed. These are extra mop pads. Here's the mop pad mounts that I'll have to install. And then here's 2 extra dust bags. There should be a dust bag installed. So, and an extra filter. I think this is the one. Be careful taking this plastic off. Sometimes it wraps around this. This is a really fragile part of the robot. And so I recommend cutting it. Okay, here's everything that comes in the box. Power cord. We have to install the mop pads. We get extra ones. You'll have to replace those about every 2 or 3 months. The safety guide, throw away. This is kind of like a parts index that they'll make references to in the manual. So I like that it comes with a nice manual. And then here's like a card you can put up with all the different commands. This box again had the extra. This is an expensive accessories that it's coming with. So I like that it comes with an extra filter for the dustbin, which I'm going to get over. I'm going to go over 2 dust bags. The dust bag, it already comes with one installed. And you have to replace that dust bag about every couple months. So I review robots for a living, and this is a very premium product from Roborock. So this $1,000 price tag does seem to be right, but we'll know more as we get into it. The LiDAR goes up and down. I like that it has spinning LiDAR. It's got some really good qualities, which I'm going to talk all about. But here's the docking station. It's going to auto empty the dustbin, wash the mop pads. Up here, you're going to have a clean water tank. So you're going to fill this up with just clean water from your sink. You don't put hot water or anything in there. There is a filter at the end of this tube that you have to clean once in a while. There's a sensor to let it know when the water level is getting close to being empty. Dirty water tank. Again, very simple. You're going to have to clean this. There's a float to let it know when it's full. Now, cleaning this is going to be very important because they get really, really stinky. Here's the dustbin. So the robot's going to back up to the base station and it's going to suck. Another vacuum's going to kick on in here and suck everything out of the dustbin into the dust bag. And then to change it, just pull it out, throw it away, slide a new bag in. Like I said, about every 2 to 3 months, depending on how much you use it. Very, very simple. If you want to add a little bit of solution, you're going to add it to the clean water tank. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's go around back. We're going to plug the power cord in. It's 3-prong. I always examine those, all 3 pins. The two pins are a little bit recessed, but make sure you push this in all the way. That should be sort of flush. The power cord is 6 feet long. It's 3-prong. Now let's look at the amperage. 120 volts, 60 hertz. Now, when it's at its highest, hot water mop washing, 12 amps. That's not all the time. Normally it's around 1 amp when it's just drying the mop pads. Once you plug it in, you are going to have a light here that's going to tell us different things. It'll turn white or red. All right, let's take this piece of tape off. I like that the dock is removable, and I'm going to talk about this, but here's the ramp. So let's install this ramp. Yeah, make sure that's all flush. Front to back, 19 inches. Left to right, the dock is 13.5. Now, height-wise, it's only about 20.5 inches, but you do have to lift this tank up to be able to get everything out. Let me measure that real quick. So you have to have about 28 inches above it. All right, let's talk about the docking station again. This comes out for easy cleaning. The hot water, the docking station uses hot water. It's gonna put it right here. The robot will spin the mop pads, and then the dirty water is gonna go down here, and then this tube is gonna suck up the dirty water into the dirty water tank. Here's where it auto empties the dustbin, fills the robot with water, and, well, if you have solution in the water tank, it doesn't have an onboard solution tank. Charging, there's a sensor to help it back up. At the end of the job, it's gonna blow hot air onto these mop pads to dry them at the end. Now, this is a little bit redesigned from what I'm used to seeing with Roborocks. I like to see that it has these little beads on there. That's gonna help get the dirt off the mop pads, but it's definitely a different design. I've reviewed probably 100 Roborocks, and this is my first one from Costco. Has a lot of features that look to be the same as the Curve X and the Saros 10 spinning mop pads and different things. But now, one of the selling points is how tall this is. But first, it's about 13.5 inches wide. But this LiDAR goes down, and when it's down, it's only 3.14 inches tall. Most of the time, the LiDAR is up, but when it's down, and there's a spinning LiDAR underneath this cover, and it maps your house, that's the only really way I prefer having a robot is with LiDAR. When it's down, it's able to come out the back. Now, here's where it charges it, helps it back up. There's where it fills. This does have an internal water tank. Auto empties the dustbin. Let's go around. It does have the bumper technology, but since it has LiDAR navigation, it is able to map your house and vacuum and mop in nice straight lines. I like that it has two physical buttons, a home button, which is also like a start button or a power button, and then a dock button. So if it's bothering you, just hit the dock button and it'll go back to the docking station. This is a sensor to help it when it's underneath furniture. Now let's go, this is the front sensor. It does have an LED light. It does have a camera, so you are able to do remote viewing. It is able to take pictures of the obstacles. And there's also a reactive AI. So if you have obstacles that are low to the ground, we're gonna see how well it does. Typically Roborocks, they do a pretty good job. They don't miss everything, but they do a good job. I like it has the flexible arm that's gonna come out into the corners for vacuuming. Another side sensor to let it know when it's up against the wall. And then one of the mop pads will be extended, which I'm gonna show you. Let's take a look at the dustbin. This is the QR code. You're gonna scan that whenever you need to set it up for the first time. There is a reset button right here. Now, this is the dustbin. So as it vacuums your house, everything's gonna go into the dustbin. Now, you will have to clean this filter. About every 2 weeks, you have to take this off. And that's why I'm so glad to see they gave you an extra filter. So what you'll do is you'll just take this out, put your new one in, and then clean this. It's reusable, but you gotta let it dry. You gotta wash it and then let it dry in the sun. So I'm glad to see that they gave you an extra one of these. This is gonna help the performance of the robot more than anything, is keeping this filter clean. It doesn't give you a reminder to clean it, but they do tell you to replace it after I think 150 hours or something. But so just put this back. Make sure you hear that little click. The lid's held on with looks like some pretty strong magnets. Okay, here's the bottom of it. Now again, these come with the mop pads on them, but we have to install them. So you simply just pop them into place. It is able to move one of the mop pads up against the wall. That works really nice. It looks like it has the new design mop pads from Roborock. I do like this design. It's like a little thicker and made a little bit better. I think it does a better job of mopping. Now there is an internal water tank that's gonna spray water, looks like 2 spots. Yeah, to keep the mop pad nice and wet. I do think robots that can keep their mop pads wet while mopping do a better job. And it does have a carpet sensor up here. Now it is able to lift the mop pads up and down 10 millimeters when it senses carpet. That's an absolute must in my opinion when you have a mopping robot. These are the drive wheels. This wheel just spins free. Now this is the brush rollers for long. This is great for long hair because it's called the dual divide. And they're split in the middle. It's not one piece where hairs can wrap around. If you do get some long hairs vacuumed up, they're gonna be directed. It's kind of like a V shape or like an angle to the middle, and then it's gonna get sucked into the dustbin. This actually works very, very well. I'm very impressed. This is pretty much the standard now for long hair. Dream does it a little bit different, but one end's open. But any robot that has a single piece is gonna struggle with long hair to some extent, where these typically don't. Okay, we have the anti-tangle side brush. This feature like this helps prevent long hairs from tangling on this also. And then it can extend it into the corner. Let's take a look. These are the sensors, so it doesn't, these are called cliff sensors. You'll have to clean those about every 30 hours. They're just little glass windows. This is so it doesn't fall down your stairs. There's the carpet sensor. Be very careful cleaning that. I just blow little puffs of air and they're not very strong. Now, I don't think this, it doesn't raise the front wheel, and I don't think it can lift this up and down, but there's not a lot of information on these sometimes. We'll kind of find out as we go. Okay, let's fill the clean water tank up. Again, you can add a little. Roborock sells their cleaning solution. They're the only ones they recommend. It calls for 2 capfuls, which I just do 2 dabs. Now, they're never going to recommend that you can use other manufacturers' cleaning solutions, but I have tried a few. I don't have a recommended list yet, but I have tried Mr. Clean and Lysol. They seem to be working okay. Okay, the dirty water tank. Now, we're not going to fill it up, but there's some prep work we're going to do. I'm going to put this Effordent. I'm trying something new. These things get to stick. So they fill up with dirty water about that much each time. And as the dirty water raises up, bacteria starts to grow because it may be a week before you empty this. And they get to really stinking. So I used to spray Listerine mouthwash in just a couple squirts. Every time I dump it out, I rinse it, and then I would put Listerine. But I am trying this Effordent. A viewer told me in the comments, it sounds like it's going to work. And I've been testing it. He says it doesn't harm plastic and it kills the odor. So we'll try it. I will put links to these in the show description notes. You'll need a brush because these things do get dirty. This is from Walmart. I've tried probably 20 other brushes. This one works the best, $5. And I'll put a link to this floor cleaning solution. Okay, I got the docking station plugged in. We have a red light because our tanks are not installed. So once we install the tanks and they're empty and dirt and the clean water tank's full of water, the dirty water tank's empty, the light is white. Okay, let's gain access to this. Let's turn the robot on. Hold that for about 3 seconds. Those lights are breathing now. And in about 5 to 10 seconds, this is going to play a tune. Okay, so get the Roborock app. You have to create a username and password. It's free to use. And then we're going to click the little plus button up here. You have to give it access to your camera. And again, I'm going to point my camera. Then I've already got the unit on. I scanned it. Now I've got to reset the Wi-Fi. I'm going to press these 2 buttons until it speaks to me.
Resetting
okay,
Wi-Fi.
Let up. Hit this. Check that. Hit next. Now, this is going to, your tablet or phone is going to connect to the robot. The robot's going to transmit a Wi-Fi signal. And this should all be, but anyway, select your Wi-Fi. Okay, this is my house Wi-Fi right here. It has to be 2.4 gigahertz only. Give it your Wi-Fi password. All right, hit next.
Connecting to Wi-Fi. Stand by.
This usually goes very easily. I mean, usually there's not a big deal. There may be an update.
Wi-Fi connected.
All right, enter device. Okay, we can put it on the charger now. It's loading a plug-in. You gotta agree to legal information. Okay, let's go ahead and put it on the charger. And you wanna hear the words charging. So that round thing's gonna go towards the back. The light kind of goes out. It says charging. And I guess the light stays out, or maybe it goes dim. I'm not sure, but at least I heard the word charging. Now you can walk through these. You can always go back to these at a later. These are all in the settings, but they're just kind of some important ones they want you to walk through. Do you have pets? Are you multi-floor? Do you have carpet? This is an important one. Turn do not disturb on. I'm going to leave mine off. This thing will start in the middle of the night. Map saving. I don't know why that's not on. This thing's pretty much useless if you don't turn map saving on. Voice. I don't like the voices. I guess it has a place. I just don't play around with it. I have too many robots. They all start. If I have it, then they're all going to start talking to me. Okay. I'm not sure why D&D is on, but anyway, we have 52% charge. You can go right into quick mapping, but I always like to check for updates. So click this little icon, scroll down, firmware updates, turn that to auto, and there is a version, a new version. So I'm at 84. I'm going to go to 1848. Looks like it supports Matter, fixed issues. So update now. These updates don't take long. And when it's on auto update, it's going to do it in the middle of the night. So I just highly recommend these. These usually do improve the robots quite a bit. So
This may take 5 to 10 minutes.
okay, the robot's going to speak to you. And again, it's all automatic. Once you hit install, then it downloads it. Now it's installing it. Yeah, I can't get over this price. This is under $1,000. This is a premium robot from Roborock with extra stuff. I've never purchased from Costco before. I had to get a membership, but the closest one's an hour and a half away. So I'm not able to go to the store. But let me know, is there something up with their return policy? Is it really good or something? I hear something about that, but I don't understand it. So is it longer than 30 days or something? Let me know in the comments, because I may start buying. This is such a good deal for a premium robot. Now, I'll try to put a link to it on my show description. I'm not an affiliate with Costco yet. Maybe I will be, hopefully. I do have a website, justadadapproved.com, where robots that I approve of, and they get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. Obviously, I've given this one already. I just know it's going to be a good robot. I will take it off if it doesn't, but I don't anticipate that at all. But you will see one that's missing over there. The Ecovacs does not have it. But anyway, justadadapproved.com. You can see, right now I'm only using Amazon links. I'm going to be putting more Walmart links on that webpage. Again, these are robots that I've tested, approved of, and I'm going to get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions, what's the best? And on there, you'll see what the best ones are. Right now, the Mova V50 is pretty high on my list. But there's constantly new ones coming out, and I constantly have to be checking. I'll be comparing this one to the Mova, and then I'll be comparing this one to like the Revo Curve X and some others that are on the Roborock site and like on Amazon and Walmart. But this is very specific to Costco. I did buy one more Costco. I bought 3 Costco robots. The other one's not here yet, but I bought the QX Revo. Okay, that didn't take long. It said it's done, so click the back. Now, I do recommend, it says there's a voice pack. I'm not sure, but, so let's do quick mapping. Open up your doors. It's going to walk you through. Don't pick the robot up.
Starting mapping.
And so sit back. This is the coolest part. So it's going to undock itself. That LiDAR is raised. See the LiDAR? It raised it. It can raise and lower that itself. And now it's going to randomly go through your house. It's not cleaning, it's mapping. And this is just the coolest thing. Watching the map in real time. This is the only way to go. Now I know Roborock has something called Star Sight, but it looks just like this on the map. So I don't really know what the difference is, but LiDAR is the way to go. Then at the end of this, it should divide everything up into rooms. We're gonna edit those rooms. Hopefully it will be successful. Sometimes they don't succeed in the room. It all stays blue and you have to, it's not a big deal to have to remap your house. Once in a while I have to remap my house, and then the second time it works. So it'll come back to the docking station. It'll say mapping complete. And then we're gonna go in, edit the map, and I'm gonna give you my recommended settings, because there are quite a few. But we don't want to mess with the settings right now because the robot's being used. Typically when the robot's cleaning or out and about, you can't do anything with the settings because it's going to tell you, oh, to change this, I got to end the task. So let's just let it do its thing. Okay, the mapping's all done. That maybe took 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes max. It's going to travel back to the docking station and dock itself. It even knows right where the dock is on the map.
Charging.
Okay, it's saving the map. And now this should change into some different colors and we will edit the map. Yeah, there. So if you don't get these different colors, you might have too small of a house with not many rooms in it or something. But if it all stays blue, you may have to remap. But it did a good job. This room it couldn't get into. I had something blocking the doorway, but that's not a big deal because as this thing cleans your house, if say you had a door that was closed and now it's open, it'll go into that room still and it'll map it and you can edit the map later. So it's continuously upgrading the map. Okay, sometimes there is a pop-up saying adjust, but let's click the little map icon right here. Map details. Let's edit the rooms first, and that's you can merge, divide, name, or remove. So I want to divide. It's funny, it learns my house. I want to divide this big room right here. I'm going to divide it over here, like right here. Now, if that line is dotted, it's not going to do the operation. It says adjust it till it's solid. There. Hit the little check mark, and now it should come up with 2 different colors. If you have too many rooms, you can merge them, but boy, it's doing a good job. Right here, I need to divide right there. And you can pinch and zoom. Oops, I don't know where the divide went. Move that. I'm going to move that right to the doorway. All right. Now, I do think it's important to name the room. Yeah, there it was. Sometimes this takes a while, so. Let's edit rooms still. Naming the rooms is important. I do recommend giving them the names that like they have, like that's the kitchen. Sometimes those come into play with how it cleans that room. If it's a kitchen, it may clean it differently. I don't know the specifics on that, but try to use the rooms that they have, but you can come up with a specific name. So let's do this one. I'm going to call this the corner test. And there it is. So I can come up with my very own name. Hit there. Now the next thing is going to be no-go zones. So yeah, let's go back. No-go zones. So you can add these later. You have invisible walls and no-go zones. So areas where you know it's going to get into trouble, like I know around my computer, click that. It gives you a box. Again, pinch and zoom, but you can also make that box bigger or smaller. So my computer cables are on the floor and it's not going to avoid them that well. So it's just going to stay completely away from that area. And you can do invisible walls, means it won't go past that line, and you can make that line. So typically people put those at the entrance to a room. If you want to keep it out of a closet or a room, you can use either no-go zones or invisible walls. And again, once you see where the robot's getting stuck, you can add those later. Now furniture, it's going to constantly remind you, oh, I see a bed here. It's relatively accurate, not 100%, but I don't typically do the furniture. Now surface material I do. We got floor type, carpet, thresholds, and under furniture. This is going to be important, this under furniture, because that's when you're going to tell it to lower the LiDAR and go under your furniture. Now, it may do it on its own, and it may identify some areas that it's going to lower the LiDAR, but you can tell it where to lower the LiDAR. And I'm going to simulate that. I do have a piece of furniture, so let's do add under the furniture. It's an area where it's going to lower the LiDAR. So I know this piece of furniture that it needs to lower. Well, it doesn't actually need to, but we're going to test it. And hit that. And so now that'll be on the map and it'll lower its LiDAR. Floor type. Now this is important because it's such a good mopping robot that I want this to clean in floor direction. So see how I have this vinyl plank flooring? Does have a groove. So you want the robot to mop in the direction of the floor planks. And we're going to do that here. So I have floor tile. If it was going this way, you see it would show it that way, but it's not. So click, it's going this way. And you can select other floor types, tile or default. Carpet. Now, you can fine tune. Now, what I recommend is don't go into the carpet setting too much right now. You can add where there is carpet, but have the robot clean your entire house a couple times, and that carpet sensor is going to identify where the carpet is. See, when it went into this room, it identified the carpet with that little squiggly line, that little dots. And as it cleans your house, it'll update this map of where the carpet is. Now you can fine tune that later, but I recommend that. Now thresholds, I don't think this thing does really tall thresholds, but if you have a threshold, it's going to be a yellow line. There are robots that can like lift themselves up over thresholds. Again, I'm not sure if this one does, but again, you can make that threshold as big as you want. It's a yellow line and it'll stay there. And the robot will act differently around that threshold. Again, I just can't find a lot of information on these sometimes. Okay, so we've got that. You can name the map, rename the map, and map details. The 3D, I don't like it. I mean, you can do this. And it gets more accurate as it cleans your house. So right now it's okay. I typically just do the 2D because you're just kind of wanting it. You're just doing a process. You're not really too worried about how it looks. Okay, map done. That's super important. And again, you can edit it at a later date. Let's go to settings. This is where you're going to see the history, how it's cleaned your house. The number one thing I tell people is put this thing on a schedule. It's easier to tell a robot to stop cleaning than it is to remember to tell it to start cleaning. So I have mine mop my kitchen, which is hardwood floor. I have it mop my house once a week, and then I have it do an entire clean, which is vacuum and mop once a week. Maintenance. That's where your maintenance reminders, I was telling you about the sensors, when to clean them. So you will have to reset this. When you actually do the work, you need to reset the sensor, the timer. Cleaning tray, dust bag. These are some important settings now. Carpet cleaning settings. Okay. Lift mop cloth mounts to vacuum carpets. That's important. Lift mops mounts to vacuum carpets first. So if you want to, before it even wets the mop pads, if you want it to go around and vacuum your house and have the mop pads lifted, that's a pretty nice setting. With this setting, it's going to lift the mop pads up and down, but they could be wet still. So if you really want to avoid the mop pads being wet on your carpet, I would select that. But I'm going to leave mine on that. Now this carpet boost, they do get a little annoying. Whenever the robot it knows when it's on carpet, and it increases the suction, I think almost to max. So it ends up being kind of noisy, but it's kind of a trade-off. You do want it to vacuum your house really well, but it can be kind of annoying. So I sometimes turn that off. Deep cleaning, I don't turn that on. Now avoid. It means it's going to mop your carpets. Oh no, that means it avoids carpet at all costs. Cross means it will only cross the carpet. Ignore means it will mop your carpet. So it won't use the carpet sensor. So typically these are the ones we're going to use. Floor cleaning settings. This is where you cleaning pattern. Smart means it's going to figure it out. Clean along. I usually typically pick that. This is where it says it's going to do the longer side of each room to optimize cleaning efficiency. I mean, I do floor direction. LiDAR sensor lowering is on. Flexible arm, I like that it extends the flexible arm and the mop. Now this one, extended for crevices. It's going to do a lot more work with that flexible arm, that side brush. It's a beta version, so I typically leave beta versions off. Now, this one I do turn on. When a dirty area is detected during mopping, robot will return to the dock for mop washing and double mop after. I think the front sensor senses it, but there's also a sensor. There is a dirt detection sensor in the base station, which I'll talk about. Pet area deep cleaning. This is when you add furniture. So if you tell it that there's a pet bed and a pet bowl, it's going to clean extra around those. I'm not going to do that. Dock settings, another important one. Mop wash frequency. So this is how much it's going to use. A lot of water if you have it washed the mop every 10 minutes, or if you have a bunch of rooms and it washes it by room. Now, by room may be important to you because if you wanted to say the robot goes and cleans your bathroom and then it's going to go to your kitchen, maybe you don't want bathroom water in your kitchen, so you would do by room. I typically leave it on the 20 minutes, but you can adjust this, but it will use more water, and you will be filling that up more often. So mop washing, smart, light, balanced, deep. I guess let it figure it out for you. Temperature, you can change room temperature, water, or hot. I leave it on hot. Dustbin, auto. I typically put it on high because I want it to empty that dustbin more often, which helps clean that filter. Empty mode. Again, they got this smart where it's going to figure out how. I typically do max. It's going to be a little bit noisier, but these things aren't super noisy now when they're emptying their dustbin, the more expensive ones. Drying method. Ooh, I love that you can put it on a schedule. So at the end of the job, it's going to dry the mop pad. And how do you want it to do that? Do you want it to be manual where you got to turn it on? Auto means it's just going to, whenever it docks and it's done, it dries the mop pads. Or do you want to schedule it? Now, you can have a time that every day or after the end of the job, it'll dry the mop pads at that time. So say 8 o'clock at night or something. Now, the fan's not super noisy, so I typically leave it on auto, but if it does bother you, you can schedule it to when you're not around it. And duration, I typically do 2 hours. Dock maintenance, we can do a self-cleaning test. I'll do this at the 3-month. That's where you want to clean the tray. You can do a self-cleaning. It works okay. And I think it does this automatically once in a while. Reactive obstacle avoidance. It's on. Obstacle photos. Now, this is off by default, but you have to agree to the privacy policy. Less collision avoidance mode. I mean, leave it on balanced. So if you're finding that it's bumping into too much, put it on sensitive. But it may leave spots or none. Pets, when it recognizes cats, dogs, or feces, it takes more cautious action. So this thing can now, it's not 100%. But if it's a very obvious cat poop or dog poop, it does kind of recognize it and it stays away from it. Pet snaps are fun. It will take a picture of your pet when it sees it. AI environment recognition, I think that's where it's going to show you where your bed is and stuff. Fill light is automatic. Manage maps. This is where you would go in and I'm a single level or multi-level, and you could map your other floor. Voice assistant, I've got it turned off. Remote viewing, activate remote viewing, agree.
Press the power button to complete the activation.
All right, press the power button.
Emptying dustbin.
No. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I just learned something though. If you press the dock button, it doesn't auto empty. Okay, sorry. Activate remote viewing. Press the power button. This is the power button.
Starting to clean.
Nope. Oh, I just messed it all up. Okay, I closed the app. Sorry. Remote viewing. Activate it.
Press the power button to complete the activation.
Press the power button.
Remote viewing on.
So now you have to draw a pattern that only you know so that no one else can do it. And then this is what you would do if you were in another state or wanted to, and then you can You could tell the robot to go to the room and look around or search for pets. This is really, really cool. You can speak through it, and you can record it. It's just super nice. I don't find that I use it very often. I think I forget about it more often. Okay. Connect to Matter, that's important. I mean, that's new. More options. There's the Do Not Disturb, smart charging, or you could do off-peak, button lights, child lock, offline map. I do turn that off, or turn that on. If your robot's been sitting without power or something, then it saves the map. I'm not sure. Pin and go, I've never really used. I need to do that. And the remote control I've never used. User manual takes you to a website. Product info, you can change the name. This is the Wi-Fi, change the unit to square feet or meters. Device sharing and then firmware updates we did earlier, it's on and we are up to date. Good. Okay, this is going to be your home page. And again, when you first log in, it's going to be this. So you're going to enter the device. Now back to this page. If you want to connect this to smart speakers, click your profile. And this is where you click Smart Control. This isn't the Matter, but this is the kind of the older way of connecting to these devices. I do like the Siri commands because they're just easier. They're all in the app. These you got to go to those apps, and you got to combine the two. So they work. It's just a couple extra steps. Oh, go to device. Okay, there we are. So now this is where you're going to be. You got full, where it's going to clean your entire house. You've got room. You can pick the room. And you can have it clean the room in that order, and how you could have it clean the room differently, each room differently. And you can do zones. And so you can pinch and zoom this map, put a zone here, add another zone. It can clean each zone differently. You select how it's going to clean each zone. So very, very nice. And then routines, I haven't gotten into these a whole bunch. You've got deep, intensive, after meals. I mean, I just haven't got into those a bunch. So let's go back to full. You're going to get pop-ups telling you to use the smart AI. Well, it's okay. So it's called the AI Smart Plan. Now, they don't tell us a lot about it, just that it figures how to clean your entire house. And the more you use it, the smarter it gets. Well, yeah, it's okay. How do we know it's actually, I don't know. I wish they gave us more information on this. But, so you can choose vacuum, followed by mop. Again, it won't wet the mop pads. It'll vacuum and then it will mop. And you can pick 4 levels of suction, water flow. Now there is this little button here. Click it and hit custom, or a little arrow. And then this is where you can really fine tune the settings. And you can have it mop each floor at a different level, but it won't be in the smart plan. That will be under custom. Cleaning times. Not sure why that's not changing, and standard pattern. So let's go back. Why is that not changing? So let's go. Oh yeah, that's because you're doing the whole house. You can only clean your house once. So let's go. If you want to do your entire house, then you can do vacuum and mop. Again, you got all the selectings. Ooh, you can do 2 times. You can do mop only. It'll find the rooms that just need mopping 1 or 2 times. Ooh, they give you more cleaning patterns. If you know the room's dirty, I would definitely go to deep or even high intensity mopping, because it does a better job with coverage. But standard is the standard. There you can do vacuum, and then you can customize each room accordingly. Go through and customize each room. And then if you do a room, we're going to do the corner test. We can do the same things. We can do the smart AI, which let it figure it out. We can do vacuum followed by mop. That's interesting. That is always 1 time only. Vacuum and mop, we can do 2 passes, standard. Mop is the only time you get the intense cleaning pattern. So interesting. And then there. And then same with the zones. And again, you can pick. Let's go to full. The remote viewing camera icon, when you click that, there is no order. I do wish Roborock would let us select the order in which it cleans when you do full. Okay, let's tell the robot to clean the world famous Just a Dad's corner cleaning studio here. We've got a cable, fake poop, long hairs, a bunch of dirt and debris in the corner, and some muddy paw prints. And even this is the area where I told it to lower its LiDAR, even though it could go under that without, but I wanted to simulate like if it was really low furniture. So here's the base station for this Roborock QX Revo Ultra. It's got a clean water tank, dirty water tank. It's going to wash the mop pads. It has an internal water tank that it's going to fill up so that it can spray water on top of the mop pads to keep them nice and wet. And it's got a side brush. We're going to watch it go into the corner, and it's going to move the mop pad up against the wall. This is just a really premium robot from Roborock. Now, I got this at Costco. I think it's a Costco only model. Again, retails for $1,200. I did get it for 950 bucks. Here's the app. Does a good job of mapping our house. We're going to do a room. So let's do the room. Let's do vacuum and mop, suction, balanced. I do like the water flow a little higher. 2 passes and standard cleaning pattern. Okay, we're going to tell it to start cleaning that room.
Starting selective room cleaning.
Now the first thing it's going to do, it's going to fill the internal water tank up with water from the clean water tank. And then it's going to wash the mop pads. You'll hear them spinning, and then you'll hear water being sucked up into the dirty water tank. That's going to do 2 things. It gets the mop pads nice and wet so they're ready to go, but it also cleans them again. And then it's going to do the same thing after the end of the job. Now the base station has a dirt detection sensor, which we're hoping for a remopping event. Whenever it goes and mops that really dirty floor, we're going to see when it brings that mud back and sucks the dirty water up into the dirty water tank, it's going to pass through a dirt detection sensor. If that water's dirtier than normal, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop where you just came from.
Mop washed. Resuming cleaning.
Okay, it's going to raise that LiDAR and exit the base station. There. And it's going to travel to that room to be cleaned. And we can watch it in the app. This is so cool, seeing it travel in the app. And if there was carpet along the way, it would, the mop pads are raised. All right, it has started to mop and vacuum. Now again, there it lowered the LiDAR. Okay, it just happened so quick. That's a very special feature of this robot, that it can lower that LiDAR and get under really thin furniture, 3.14 inches. And there's that mop pad that it can extend, and then it should raise the LiDAR. Yep, when it gets out from underneath the furniture. It raised the LiDAR, and now it's avoiding the cable. This is an excellent robot. I mean, this room is throwing a lot at it all at once. And I like that it's staying well away from it, and it's going to take a picture of it. Ooh, it's already recognized the poop, even though it was kind of far away from it. And then there's it calls it a cord. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm excited. This is the fun part. Look at that mop pad. Wow, it can extend the side brush and the mop pad right up next to the wall. Now, it might be thinking that big chunk of hair is an obstacle. Okay, it is thinking that chunk of hair is an obstacle. So that might have been too much hair. And now it knows that that's pet waste. It's going to stay away from it. And I might have messed it up by putting my arm down there, but It should readjust itself on the second pass. We'll see. There, it got that hair. So now it's hopefully going to pick up where it left off. There. There we go. Wow, look at that side brush. Does an excellent job of cleaning. I lowered the LiDAR. It's so quiet when it lowers that LiDAR. That round, that silver circle there in the back. There, it's raising it. All right, we got a lot going on here. Didn't recognize that hair, but it went around it. There's the pet poop. There's where it's underneath the low furniture. It's got the LiDAR lowered. There's the LiDAR going up. So now that it's done the perimeter of the room, it should start to go back and forth in nice straight lines. It's still trying to avoid this cable, so. There we go. Well, it's still trying to avoid it, which is good. You don't want it getting close to it. Now it's going to come on this side of the cable and clean, and then it'll go over there and start cleaning the muddy paw prints. It's laying down some good water. Here we go. Now we're going to get some smearing. That's going to be a lot of mud for those mop pads to capture. But I do have it set on 2 passes. And hopefully we get a remopping event. Looks like we might be starting the second pass, but it didn't recognize any of the mud or anything. It didn't give it a special. So yeah. Now it's going back and forth this way. Now I do wish it did the perimeter of the room on the second pass, but it doesn't. When it does the second pass, it only does the middle of the room. Now we do have a little bit of mud there left. Wow, it's doing a good job. There's a little bit of mud there still. Okay. Looks like it got almost all of it. There's a little bit in the crevices, a little bit here. This room is really clean right now. It's anywhere where there's an obstacle, it's missed some stuff. And it's gonna kind of finish cleaning up this little area. There, it lowered the LiDAR. Wants to go back underneath that.
Returning to dock.
All right. Now it did struggle over there around that poop, but it was just trying to avoid it. I'd rather have it miss cleaning and completely avoid the poop than get too close to it. So now it's going to come back to the docking station. It's going to wash the mop pads. It's going to heat the water up, and it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank. And again, it's going to pass through a dirt detection sensor, and we should get a dirt remopping event. That might only happen in the AI. I forget. And it should empty the dustbin also.
Emptying dustbin. Starting to wash the mop.
Now again, this takes about 2 minutes. You'll hear pumps and dirty water pumps, and it's a little noisy. And if it's finished with the job, it'll start dehydrating the mop pad. It'll start blowing hot air onto it. Okay, so we did not get a remopping event. I think that only works in AI. I can't keep these things straight. I do like Mova and Dream. They'll do the remopping even when it's not in the AI, like the artificial intelligence mode. So the fan has started drying the mop pads. So let's just... Mop pads are clean. We don't have any long hairs wrapped around the brush roller. That did a good job. It emptied the dustbin good.
Dustbin removed.
Dustbin's been emptied.
Dustbin installed.
There's what the base station looks like. Yep, starting to get a little dirty, but again, easy to clean. And here's our dirty. Ooh, there's that tablet. So I put an Effordent tablet in there to keep the water from smelling. Yeah, so normally it should look like dirt. Let's check the history. There's the room. There's the details. You get it. So the dirt level, it didn't detect a bad dirt level. So maybe it needed to, maybe these things are getting so good, it needed to detect a little higher. But if it would have been dark blue, it would have done a remopping event. So I would have liked to have seen it come back and clean this room again. But again, it's not too bad. I would like to see it do the corners one more time. That was a pretty difficult corner to clean, but if it would have cleaned it. And again, this area I just can't classify as, because it avoided this at all costs. So while it did leave some stuff, it didn't run this over. I gotta do some more testing on it, but at $950, this is an excellent buy. And again, this is my first Costco product that I've purchased because I don't live close to one. I bought it online through a membership. Again, I don't understand their return policy, so I think they have a really good return policy or something. Let me know what if you know anything about Costco's return policy, because that seems to be a driving factor of people buying stuff at Costco. Maybe you can take it back after 2 or 3 years. I'm not really sure. If that's the case, yeah, you know, if you can take this back after 3 years, if it stops working, then that's a pretty good deal. But this is a premium robot. It's going to do a good job cleaning your house, keeping up. Got to do some more testing, making sure that remopping actually works. It normally does on all Roborocks that I've tested. So, and I will be doing comparisons with this one against the Mova. Right now I do the Mova V50. These are the same price point. Ooh, it's too close to. I'd probably pick the Mova right now, just because of its cleaning pattern, and it can do thresholds so much better. So, yeah, pretty tough call. Again, the dual divide brush, flex arm, multifunction dock. They don't tell us. Intelligent dirt detection, self-cleaning. Yeah. Yeah, everything on the box, it says it does, it does. And again, you get about, I'd say, probably $150, maybe $100 of accessories. So these typically don't need replaced till after about a year. These need replaced after about 2 or 3 months. Dust bags about every 2 or 3 months, and a filter about once a year. But it's nice to have one that's ready to go. So you've got about not quite a year's worth. Maybe you could get a year's worth out of it. No, maybe 6 months because of the dust bags. So this was my first Costco robot, and I only bought it because people tell me in the comments, you should buy it. Should I buy the Costco robot vacuum cleaner? Well, I always had to say, I don't know. Well, now I can say it's definitely a buy. You're going to love it. I love the Roborock app. I've tested so many Roborocks. I do love them. I buy them with my own money. And would I spend $950 on that robot that I just reviewed? I absolutely would. It's the first look. Got some more testing to do. I don't think it's gonna be fine. I got to do a carpet test. Again, I think it's gonna be fine. I can just tell. I've reviewed enough of these that I'm gonna test it. This is, again, it's always classified as the first look. I like to get this information out to let you see what I see on day one, because it may act different a week from now or 2 days from now, but when you get it out and unbox it and you do your first cleaning, I think you're going to have questions. I had questions. I remember what it was like. And when I unboxed like a Shark AI robot, it made a weird noise. I'm like, oh, is it supposed to do? Is it supposed to sound like that? And it actually was, but I didn't know. And so that video helped people realize, yeah, the Shark robots make this weird sound, and that's just how they are. So again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. I'm not using links. Hopefully in the future, I'll be using links for Costco. I'm not an affiliate with them right now, but I do use other affiliates. And again, I have my website, justadadapproved.com. I'll try to put a link to that on there somehow. I'm not really sure how to do that. But most of my links are to Walmart and Amazon, where I am an affiliate. If you click on those links, the products don't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to purchase these robots and give you my honest opinion. Again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok. We have a lot of fun there. Again, thanks for watching. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks again.